Hi everyone. I'm making this video outside, having been taking a look at the stars, and they reminded me of a Calvin and Hobbes comic. Specifically, Calvin tells Hobbes, you know, if everyone, every day, would look up at the stars, the world would be a much different place. People wouldn't be quite so concerned with what they do in their day-to-day lives, gazing up at infinity. So, that kind of puts things in perspective, and that's kind of what I wanted to talk about, is perspective. Making sure that you are optimizing the best course of action. So, there is a technique, a rationality technique, called goal factoring. What that means is you take a action that you are performing, something that you do regularly or plan to do, and you break it down into the goals you are trying to achieve with that action. I can't think of anything that we do for the sake of doing it. There are reasons we do things. For example, I've been batting around the idea of doing an applied rationality podcast, where I would cross-post the audio of relevant YouTube videos. The reasons I want to do that are as follows. I want to become a better rationalist. I want all of you to see how valuable rationality can be for yourself, because I think it makes the world a better place. And 3, I just like the idea of having a podcast because of the social status it provides. Now, the process of goal factoring is where I take those goals, however many they are, and under each goal, I think of other actions I could take to accomplish those same goals. And then, once I break that down for all my various goals, that will either A, affirm that the action I was taking originally is the best way to accomplish those goals, or B, I might have a picture for a better course of action that will accomplish all, or at least most of those same goals for less effort, or less time, less money, whatever the case may be. So, I will link a helpful worksheet for you so you can do goal factoring yourself. And I can tell you that it has helped me. Specifically, it has made the determination that I do want to do this podcast. And knowing that, even if you don't change your mind about any of this, it gives you good perspective on why you're doing the thing that you are doing. That way you don't lose sight of the goal. Remember in my last video I said rationality is systemized winning. It is the process by which you most optimally seek victory, to seek accomplishing the goals you want to accomplish. If you don't know what your goals are, you'll have a very difficult time accomplishing them. So, once you are finished goal factoring, and you either affirm the action you were going to perform before, or B, you come up with a different plan of action, then we can do something called MurphyJitsu, which is a very important follow-up whenever you decide to enact a particular plan of action. MurphyJitsu takes its name from the infamous Murphy's Law, saying whatever can go wrong will, generally speaking anyways. So I will link another helpful worksheet that kind of walks you through the process. So, MurphyJitsu basically is where you take an action you're planning on taking. For example, the action where I plan to perform a podcast or produce a podcast. Then you envision the very next step you have to take towards making that a reality. For me, that would be posting this video. Then you envision that happening, and this part of the process is also known as a pre-mortem, where you have examined something as if it had died but before it died. You envision the course of action towards accomplishing this goal, this act, or the next step in this action, and envision it having failed. Are you shocked that it failed? If you are shocked that it failed, Great. That means you probably have a plan of action that might stand up to reality. If you are not shocked that it failed, well, this is where the pre-mortem or the MurphyJitsu comes into play. You now have to envision why specifically it failed, so you can then fix that, plan for that, find some way to resolve that, and then repeat the process. Are you still not shocked that it failed? If so, you didn't quite fix the problems that you should have, or at least not to the extent you should have. And you keep repeating that process until you are shocked that it would fail. Now, as with any planning fallacy or optimism bias in general, try to be pessimistic. Always seek advice from people who have performed similar projects. Ask them what time frames and failure modes they experienced, and use that. Rationality, again, systemized winning. You need to use all the resources at your disposal. Reality does not care what efforts you put into things. It does not care how important something is to you. Reality is reality. Your map is not the territory. So, but if you perform goal factoring to make sure your priorities are straight, and then you MurphyJitsu it so you have a pretty high level of confidence that it will not fail, you have a solid plan on your hands. There are other techniques you can use to refine it, but that right there will sweep away most of the chaff. So, back to gazing up at the stars and looking into infinity. We're very similar to stars. Stars seem to be these delicate twinkles of light, when in reality they are one of the most powerful, destructive forces in the known universe. We are similar in the way that we seem to be pretty squishy and vulnerable, and prone to errors in cognition, but we are also one of the most unique things in the known universe. You are far too precious and too fleeting for your time on this earth to be wasted seeking the wrong priorities or not optimizing for your goals. You are more precious than those stars. You are made out of the same stuff, and you are far more unique because you have the ability to make goals. You have the ability to decide what your purpose is. There is no meaning in that infinite darkness up above. But we do have meaning because we say so. So, knowing that, know that you are too precious to let any of your life go to waste. And that is why I do this, because I believe in all of you. I believe in the human species. And with that, I will encourage you to do some goal factoring in MurphyJitsu. And then before you go to bed next, take 60 seconds to stand outside and look at those stars. Behold their majesty, their beauty. Take it in. Understand the full might and incomprehensible vastness of that darkness, of this universe. And then know that you are more important than all of it combined. One person is more important than the entire rest of the universe, the unconscious universe, because you provide meaning. Now go out, go seek that meaning, go optimize for that meaning, and remember, stay rational.